Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So I thought that I would share with you some of my sensory play and messy play ideas. You may know already that sensory play is brilliant for babies and young children. It just brings so many benefits, and I've really loved doing some with my son Arthur, who is nearly 1 year old. And I've been probably doing these since he's been able to sit up, so I would say these are probably better for your baby when they're able to sit up a little bit more. I have already done a video about ways to entertain your baby when they are slightly younger too, so do check out that one if you might find that one helpful. But yes, I've just compiled some of my favourite ideas and I really hope that you enjoy them. A sensory play activity that my son really loves is to include and incorporate lots of metals, silver and shiny things. So I set up a foil blanket on the rug. I just found random things around the house, so you don't need to go out and buy anything expensive. You can just find your pots and pans, any spoons. I had like a mixing bowl, and anything that kind of reflects really is just really good. This can also be a bit of a noise as well, so obviously with the spoons you may find that your baby will start banging your pots and pans. But yeah, just having all the metals and the silvery tones is just something a little bit different. Obviously it's a lot different from their toys, and my son really loves this one. I should probably say here that with this activity, obviously supervision is always recommended because these aren't toys that I'm saying that your baby is going to be playing with, and this applies to nearly all or most of the ideas that I'm going to talk to you about today. Obviously, you probably know this already, but yes, just supervise your baby when they are doing these things, and if you think that something is not going to work for you or your baby, or you think it wouldn't be safe for some reason, then obviously please just don't do it. But other than that, if you supervise your baby, you should be fine. The next idea that I have is definitely a sensory play idea, and it is a bit of a messy play idea as well, but this is really easy to clean up, and that's because we're going to be using dry cereals. So what I did, I bought a tough tray, which are one of these big trays. I got the metre wide one, and I just got it on eBay. I think it was around 12 or 13 pounds, and it's just brilliant. It kind of keeps everything contained. So you can just sit your baby in there, and then you can put various things on the tray. So the first thing that I would do is to use dry cereals. And so I just scrunched up or blended, for example, Cheerios, Weetabix, cornflakes, porridge oats, that type of thing. And the clip that I'm going to show you, I actually did an animal themed one, so I bought some animals and some flashcards too. I think I might have put a couple of books out and just let Arthur have a little explore. This is also really good if your baby is a bit unsure about weaning and about kind of the different textures of foods. Doing this type of messy play is really good for that too. And dry cereals, again, it feels much different to the toys that they've been playing with, and you may find that this will entertain your baby for a good while. You can of course use all different types of cereals, and you can theme it. You don't even have to have toys with it as well. You could just pop them on the tough tray with a bit of, Rice Krispies or whatever it is, and just let them explore. You don't have to kind of use anything fancy. But yeah, I just wanted to do a bit of animal themed, and Arthur really loved that one. My next messy play idea is definitely a very messy play. You might want to get a bath ready for your baby when they're finished with this one, and that is yogurt play. So I actually used a few different food colourings to make some different colours for this one, so it just looked a bit more interesting. And I just put dollops of yogurt on the tough tray, like a couple of spoons, and I just let him explore. I also put a couple of sheets of paper because I thought he might like to make some sort of like prints on the paper, but that is a really good idea. It's something a bit different from using paint. And yeah, it just helps them to get really messy. With this one, and with a lot of these types of ones, like in the tough tray, then you probably want to get your body in a bodysuit just so that they've got their like hands and feet out so that they can properly feel all the textures. So that is a really good little tip too. My next sensory play idea is to use spaghetti. So you can cook your spaghetti and then rinse it, and you can just use it as it is, obviously once it's cooled down, just plain, because that is different by itself anyway. But you can also dye it too with food colouring again. So you could either pop the spaghetti in your Ziploc bags or in a bowl, add a few drops of food colouring and just really kind of like shake it around, and if it's in a bag, really like squeeze it and just make sure it's all covered. You can leave it for a few hours. I think I ended up leaving mine for an afternoon, I think it was, and then just rinse it off again just to make sure there's no kind of excess food colouring. That will give you the best chance of not completely dyeing your baby's hands. It does all come out anyway, I should say. But yeah, that is a really cool idea as well. If your baby is in an outfit, just make sure it's something you don't mind getting dyed. I did have a sleep suit that I use for Arthur for this type of thing, and I have to say, it does usually come out the food colouring, but obviously just in case, don't put them in their best outfit. But yes, spaghetti is a really good texture. It's kind of that wet, slightly sticky texture, but when it all looks different colours, I think it looks really amazing and fun to play with. You could put kind of piles of it on the Tough Tray, for example, and hide toys underneath or hide things underneath for them to find, or you can just let them play with it as it is. Another food that you can use for sensory and messy play is jelly. So you can actually make your own. So you could put toys into a bowl and then kind of pour the jelly liquid over it, let it set, and then they can kind of like dig in and find it. A quicker way, or another way if you haven't got that jelly in, as I did in this clip, is just to get some little pots of jelly and just let them play with that. Just tip it out onto the Tough Tray again. I really recommend getting one. I can't recommend one enough. And just let them dig in. Again, you could hide things in it. It gets really, really sticky and messy, but jelly is a lovely, lovely thing. I think it's really, really tactile. It's a really lovely texture. And yes, that is a great idea. My last food idea, and I must say there are other ones as well, I've got more ideas. I can always do another video, but there's just so many. But I just wanted to include one more on this video, and that is to use rice. You might have seen this, I put a little shorts video on my channel around Christmas time. You can dye rice. Again, you can leave it in its natural state too. Or if you just put, you need uncooked rice, a little bit of water, like a teaspoon of water or a little bit less, a few drops of food colour in, just mix it all together, and then you want to spread that out onto a tray or somewhere flat, just so that you can leave it to dry. It may take a little while to dry, but once you've got that, you can just keep reusing it, which is really, really good too. And just pop that, again, you can put it on the Tough Tray, or to help contain it a bit more, you can put it in like a smaller box or tray too, and just let them feel that. Again, it's a lovely different texture. Another idea that you can kind of add onto this is to make it scented as well. So for my Christmas one, I just put dried orange slices and some cinnamon sticks, just to add a little bit of something. Obviously that's another scent that we are trying to kind of play with here. So that was a really good one, and Arthur really loved that one. Of course, with a lot of these food ones, rice obviously is uncooked, so you don't want them to eat it. Obviously the dry cereal one, it doesn't matter too much. So again, as I said earlier, just supervise them with all of these activities. A lovely thing that you can do and kind of make for your baby is a treasure basket. Now ideally you want a round basket which is at least about 1 foot across. Now I do have one of these now, but I think in the clip that I've got, I think I had something else, but it doesn't really matter, so don't let it put you off if you don't have anything suitable. Just keep your eye out on eBay or something. That's what I did, for something a bit better, but it doesn't really matter. But basically you want something where they can kind of dig their hands in, and you want to fill the basket with ideally lots of natural materials. So again, you will probably find things around your house, like wooden spoons and utensils. I've got like a pot of a wooden lid that I found. I've got a wooden bracelet in there. I bought a little like wooden shovel that I found on eBay for a couple of pounds, a pastry brush, those sorts of things. You can also include some shiny objects too, like metal spoons, and you're really looking for more natural materials. And you also want to think about different textures, different weights, different shapes and different sizes. And you can carry on adding things to this across time. So I'm constantly kind of looking for things and putting things in there just to keep the interest up. I think I've also got a glove in there, I've got a sponge. And when we went out for a walk, I found a couple of pine cones, so I just chucked them in there. You can also change it time to time, so maybe you want to theme it. I did a Christmas one, for example, so I put a few different things in there when it was Christmas time, or you know, if it was Halloween, or you might want to do a summer one or a more nature-inspired one. There are so many different things you can do, and it's just basically random things in a basket. It's that simple, but babies love that kind of thing, and that is a great, great way to keep them entertained. Another idea for sensory play is to play with water. Again, water is so lovely. It's lovely and tactile. It can be warm as well. You don't have to give it to them cold, but you can either do this in a bath, or you can just sit them in a little bit of water in a Tough Tray or in a paddling pool, or just give them, you know, find some sort of box or container that you can put water in. You won't want them sat in it like this, but you could put a few drops of food colouring in if you wanted to make it look a bit more interesting. You could put toys in there, you can scent it, you can put foods in like slices of oranges and lemons and make it a bit more different. But yeah, water play is a really lovely idea. A great sensory play idea is to put lots of things together that your baby can make music with. So you can buy things such as tambourines, like a little drum or a little maracas, things like that. They're really good, and also rattles too. But you can also make your own. So similar to the first idea that I shared about the metal thing, you can kind of do that again. So I use a few saucepans and a bowl and a wooden spoon, and obviously that makes a lovely noise when Arthur is banging it all together. You can also make your own shakers, so you can fill Tupperware or bottles with things like dried pasta and dried rice, and that makes lovely noises. And again, it's just something a little bit different, and that will keep your baby entertained for a good while, I would say. Just sit them on your rug or wherever, and they can make lots of nice music. So the very last idea that I have is to play with lights and reflection. So I've got a few kind of flashing balls that I bought on eBay or Amazon, you can get them. Those are really, really good. I've got a little disco light, I've got another ball that changes colour. You might include some sort of battery operated candles or fairy lights, but they will really enjoy watching the lights. I just think they're so different. And if you put something near them that it can reflect off, so I've got a silver roasting tray. I think I got it from Home Bargains, it's just really cheap. Plus, I've got a silver foil blanket, which I've used so many times. If you watch my other video about how to entertain your baby, I used it then as well. I've had it since he was born, pretty much. So I've definitely got my money's worth, and it was only a few pounds anyway. But yes, having kind of both those components, so having the lights and then having something for them to reflect off, it's just a wonderful play idea for your baby to get all their senses going, and they will really enjoy that. So those are all my sensory play ideas and messy play ideas. I really hope that you enjoyed them. As you can see, you don't necessarily need to buy too much for them. You might just need to buy a few little things, but they will last you. So like the full blanket has lasted me for months and months. As I said, nearly a year, because he is nearly a year old. You might need to buy some food colouring, but you might have some of this already in your cupboards. And it's just been a bit creative really, and your baby will love all of these ideas. As I said, there are more that I can do and more that I can think of. So if you really want me to, I can definitely do a second video about this. But for now, I really hope that you enjoyed these ideas. If you haven't subscribed already, then I would love you to come over and check out my channel and hit that subscribe button. I'm posting lots of videos about motherhood and mum life, baby updates, all those sorts of things, grocery hauls, a few cleans along the way. So I really hope that you enjoy my content. And if you did enjoy this video, then please hit the thumbs up and let me know that you liked it in the comments below. But that is it for now, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!